What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Ranger Central. And today we got pretty interesting news that just randomly broke this morning as the Rangers extend Jonny Brodzinski to a 2-year deal, and it's under 800K as well. I think it was, let me get the exact amount for you guys. Yeah, 787,000 there, a little over that. Keep the change. But yeah, they extend Jonny Brodzinski, and I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions on the signing. Do I love it? Do I hate it? I think you guys know the answer. But before we jump into everything, leave a like if you do enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live next. So yeah, I obviously love the deal. Unless Jonny Brodzinski did something to you, I don't know how you could hate the deal. And I'm just happy for the guy. I'm very happy for him. He came up because of the fact that the Rangers have had so many injuries this season, and he's just played his tail off. And he has, in 37 games played, 15 points, 4 goals, 11 assists. He came up on fire. I think he had like 6 points in his first few games or so, and then he kind of cooled off a bit, and there was more and more injuries, and he was stuck playing with some of the worst players imaginable, who thankfully are gone, like Nick Bonino and Tyler Pitlick. And now he's been forming that line there, centering that line that has been so good with Will Cooley and Kaapo Kakko, and now he has 15 points on the year, and Kakko's on a 5-game point streak. Cooley's been playing well himself, so this is a very good deal in my opinion, because I was under the assumption that Brodzinski, with the way he's been playing, was going to start to price himself out of staying in New York, and for sure he did exactly what he did with Jimmy Vesey last year and gave a 2-year bargain deal, and Jonny Brodzinski took it. So I guess he either loves New York or he wants to just prove himself further, or a bit of both. But I thought if he was going to stay on this type of deal, it was going to be for 1 year. But for 2 years, this is a really good deal that you cannot be mad about, because worst case, it doesn't work out. All right, he goes to Hartford. It is what it is. And you wash that away, and he goes on waivers. He gets claimed. If he, because if he's that bad, then if he gets claimed, it's not the end all be all. But yeah, he's 30 years old, so he'll be 31 going into the contract, and then he will end it being 32, 33 years old. But yeah, I am just, again, I'm so in love with the way that Drury's been shaping up this roster in terms of the bottom 6 for the future. And I've been very critical of him, and you guys know that I'm critical of Drury just because of his lack of addressing the top line right wing. I still think that he need to do better in terms of just putting together the defensive unit, but a lot of that's because of Trouba's contract handicapping him a bit. But I've loved the scouting department he's brought in and their job of finding these bottom 6 players, because I tweeted this out. The Rangers have so many potential options next year, and this could potentially mean either Gaudreau's being bought out or traded this offseason, or both. And then this could also mean that guys are expendable come this trade deadline even, because you look in terms of the roster, if Philip Hedl comes back, that's a guy that's probably going to be in the bottom 6, or if it's not him, it's going to be Vinny Trocheck to fill that 3C, and then Brodzinski's all of a sudden the 4C. Adam Edstrom has emerged. Kaapo Kakko still might be a bottom 6 guy. Will Cooley's going to be a bottom 6 guy for the future. Jimmy Vesey, Matt Rempe, and then now Brodzinski, like I mentioned. Adam Sikora might get a cup of coffee next year. Ryder Korzak, even in the system, is a name that I forgot to put in the tweet. He could maybe emerge. Brendan Othman's probably going to win a roster spot next year. Brett Berard's right on the cusp of being on the roster. And then there's still some other guys like McConnell Barker, who's going to come through the system at one point. Bobby Trevino, maybe. I don't know really if he's going to ever get a shot at the NHL. He might for like a game or two, but I don't foresee him being like a future NHLer long term. But Carl Henrikson's kind of the same case there. But there's a lot of options for this team going forward in terms of what they could do with their depth options and their bottom 6 next year. Like, this makes Barclay Goodrow so easy to trade in terms of the loss not hurting at all. Granted, he is a net negative, so the loss probably wouldn't hurt regardless, but like, this just makes it so much easier because of how many guys they have. And I would argue that this opens up the opportunity this offseason for the Rangers to potentially splash and get an upgrade in the top 6. I was saying I'd like Gensel. I don't think it's realistic, if I'm being honest, in terms of the offseason. But like, in terms of free agents this upcoming offseason, you never know. Like, maybe they could get a guy like Jonathan Marchessault. suggested that in the group chat that I'm in with them. And, Jonathan Marchessault for a cheaper option for the top 6. He's a little up there in age, but he's still going to be a quality guy to be in the top 6. And he does play a little bit of a pesky game, even though he's a shorter guy. He could be someone that fits in the top 6 going forward down the road. But that's all off-season talk. And that's all next season talk. But for right now, Brodzinski, this is a very good move. And it's hard to hate on a move where it's league minimum, essentially, the deal. And it's for 2 years for a guy that's either a depth piece, and at best, he's going to be the third line center like he's been going forward. I don't foresee that because next year, I think, obviously, if Hedl coming back, hopefully, let's hope there, he's probably going to be the 4 seed. But again, there's just so many options for this bottom 6 now. And then, opens up the flexibility for what they could do next offseason. Because as of today, they have, going into the offseason, they're projected to have a little over $12 million in cap space. The only question is going to be with the defense because Lindgren's contract's up, Schneider's contract's up. I don't think he's going to get a huge raise. And then Gustafson's up, but I expect like Jones or Robertson to take that role going into next season. So, and if not, they'll just sign someone like Gustafson to a contract where he's going to get just that type of money, so it wouldn't even hurt that much of the cap. And then, obviously the year after, you got Miller, Igor. So the contract situation is honestly not looking bad. But again, that's all offseason talk. A lot of it's going to dictate based on how this season goes, because if they get bounced early, I still stand by the fact that they have to move one of the core guys. It just has to happen. In my opinion, it's going to be Chris Kreider if it's going to be any of these core guys. I could be wrong. This is just my speculation, my thoughts, but because I just don't see Trouba being movable at this point. Mika's definitely unmovable. Panarin's unmovable. Trocheck is, and then that Kreider contract lightens up. I know the Trouba one does too, but I think Kreider, you could at least get something of value back, where with Trouba, they'd probably have to attach assets just to get out of that contract at this point, probably. And also the difference is the extra year on Kreider's deal versus Trouba, who has, I cannot believe that contract's already like coming to a close, where he is just 2 years after this year. Like, time moves quick, man. Time just moves too damn quick. But in terms of the contract, like I mentioned, I'm very happy. This gives the Rangers a lot of versatility for their bottom 6 for the next 2 years because of the fact that they have him. They still have VC. I mean, next year mainly because some of these guys' contracts will go up. But this is what this team has been lacking for years, a cost-effective or a low-costing bottom 6. How long have we been screaming about them having to pay for guys just to be in their bottom 6, and just terrible guys too, like Michael Haley in their bottom 6, Brendan Smith getting reps at forward, you have McLeod down there before, Paul Carey, just some of these ridiculous names in the bottom 6. Gone are those days, and now they're actually getting some youth in the lineup, which is very important for this team. And as we've seen, it's rejuvenated this team a bit too, having guys like Rempe and Edstrom come into the lineup and make an impact with their physicality. But let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below on the signing. Would love to hear from you guys. Don't forget to leave a like if you haven't already. Don't forget to subscribe too. Turn on your notifications too so you know I upload or go live next. And I'll see you in the next one.